grinder? You don't know what grinder is?
I know what it means to be someone that's grinding, but...
Oh, grinder is the gay app where all my gay friends go there and do weird shit.
High Praise Podcast, ACDJ.
Coming from the guy with the white, fluffy, padded sewing chair.
90s OG forever.
That's it, baby.
And we have Sam Chimes in the building. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, probably the hardest working independent artist that I've met.
First time I met Mr. Sam Chimes, I
Yes.
remember the day I was walking downtown and I saw this good-looking brother on the side of the road playing some fucking interesting music, and people were walking by and they were going, "Oh, you get that a lot, I know." You're like, "Oh, what is this guy?" You know what I mean? And I was like seriously impressed because if I remember, it was down on around Pacific Center area, whatever, and I was with someone who knew you. And they were like, "Oh, that's Sam." And I'm like, "Oh, you know that guy?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, Sam's fucking famous." Right? And I'm like, "Oh, this is dope." So it's cool, man. And then I just a couple times I said hi to Sam on my own. Like I felt like I knew him after not being introduced by my friend. And then I was just like, "Yeah, this guy's fucking talented."
That's interesting.
Dude, he's Vancouver's hidden secret.
Well, I don't think it's very hidden. No, I think people know and see. And it's interesting because when I met you the first time was at a hip hop show, and it was the first time I've seen someone dress up for a hip hop show.
Was that my show?
It was your show.
Club XY?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were dressed up. Like, what the fuck? Where does that thinking come from?
Well, my music is, half hip hop, half like jazz. And, it's just a mixture of genres.
Yeah.
So similarly, I like to dress accordingly. And that show, I wanted it to feel like, like you go into this big expensive jazz bar.
Yeah.
And like, you're about to stand on the balcony with your...
Some Sinatra type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Going sexy. And it's funny because that's the first time ever in my life that someone told me that let's do a show, but you gotta dress up.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on. I was like, hold up, 1 second. What do you mean dress up?
Yeah.
And you were like, dress pants and dress shirt. I'm like, what? A hip hop show?
Yeah.
And I gotta say I did, and it's the first time I've ever done that in my entire life. Because there's something about hip hop where you just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, comfortable. Yeah. However you're most comfortable.
That's right.
Is kind of how you can present yourself the best, right? But it was a very unique experience to say the least, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mike has been a little bit.
Who?
This.
Oh, you mean podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a week off last week. What happened? Oh, I did a wedding or something. Oh, I did a grad last week. Yeah. Oh, and I could just... Sam, you ever do grads?
Like DJ?
Yeah.
I could.
We'll talk.
I've DJ'd on a pirate ship.
Did you do the pirate tours?
I've done it once.
Oh, yes. That is a grinding. Yes, I have. Yeah, with those
fucking
fucking weirdos. Yeah, I loved it.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to tell you something right now, man. And this is like... Dude, okay, straight up. You should not be holding events right now. And I'm not big on the COVID thing. I don't care. I know I'm not going to catch it. I know, right? I'm not getting vaccinated and I'm not going to catch it. And I'm cool with that. But you should not be doing events for one reason right now. Nobody will get the full value of an event. You'll show up and you'll be... We showed up, right? The kids were like, no dancing. Keep your mask. So here's the stupid rule. If you're at your table, you don't have to wear a mask. But if you leave your table, you have to wear a mask. What the fuck rule is this?
I think...
The virus is selective?
I think I kind of know you're coming in a little hot.
Am I?
A little hot.
Okay, thank you.
So you can turn yours.
Mike's hot.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think I have an idea of why they do it. Because in class, they're... Even in the classroom, they're set up in specific groups, right? Mm-hmm. And you can only go out with this group, you can only talk with this group. And I think they kept that all the way to the fucking dance. It's kind of shitty.
They split, the school starts with an M in Burnaby. I won't say who it is, Moskrock. They had 300 students graduate.
Damn.
Oh no, 300 in the graduating class. I think 240 graduated. So 60-ish. High school or summer school students probably.
Incompletes.
Right? And then 100 people came to the dance. So that just shows you no one was interested in doing this, but yet these teachers, and my buddy Kelvin, who's a magician, he was doing them, and it was just like, leave your mask on, nobody talk to each other. It's like, this is what your kid's prom or whatever grad is. I didn't have one, so I don't care. I don't know the emotion.
What do you mean you didn't have one?
I didn't have a prom or grad event.
Oh, you just didn't go?
Truth? I went and did a drug deal instead of going to my... I was like, money or going to a drug deal. And I was like, fuck it.
The question was...
The future.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, at the time, it really was worth it. I was coming up in the game, right? And I was just like, I had to make a move. And what sacrificed? Education. But we're in Canada. Education always sacrifices, right? It's part of our Canadian heritage.
Yeah, because I had a really, really good time in my grad. Did you have a good time in your grad?
It was a good time. I was a whole different person in my grad years.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the prom, but you know, it was an experiential time.
Me and my best friend at the time were huge Puffy fans. Puffy and Mace. This is when No Way Out came out, and you know, Puff and Mace always used to wear the matching outfits.
Yep.
Ish.
Yep.
They're a little different styles.
The yellow thing they wore in the video.
The red tracksuits or whatever, the shiny shit that they did.
Yep.
So, me and my homie decided we'll go matching to the prom. So we got matching suits. Mine was double-breasted, he was single-breasted. It's really corny shit when I look back and be like, look at it now. But in the moment, we had a great fucking time. You don't ever think you wanted a grad prom?
So I did go to the dance. I didn't have a grad. You know the grad thing where they get your diploma and do that? I didn't do that. But the true douchebag that I was back then, I showed up at the grad with my 25-year-old girlfriend. I was 18 at the time, she was 25. She actually resides still in this house right now, right? And so I took my 25-year-old girlfriend to the prom, right? Or to the dance, and it was on a boat, right? And it was on a BC ferry that they commissioned for the dance.
You were killing it.
Dude, I was so high on mushrooms, I didn't realize what was happening. Me and my friends did mushrooms, right? I was like, oh, I'll just do mushrooms, and then it hit me. And it was just like the worst scenario because people were scared to talk to me in high school. It was
that guy.
I was a professional fighter. I was a drug dealer in town. You know what I mean? I would say to everyone in school, if you want to miss next class, come to the basketball court. We're going to play basketball and smoke weed for the entire block. Damn. And I'd have like 30 people. I'd give them all joints and we'd all play basketball.
That's
right? Teachers. And yeah, it was awesome high school. It was great times, dude. Right, but you know, it just, you know, it's funny. Like, as I think you've grown older in life, and as the kids get into new generations, I think education is becoming a non-issue, and I think that's a good thing. That the schools that we were taught are going away, are being abolished, and maybe the curriculum needs to start.
You mean like the regimented?
I just think the topics and the way that they teach you and the history they teach you, like it's getting revealed now with the 1,300 plus children that they found buried in the grounds. Which I might say, with two men who have black heritage sitting at the table here, this has been an issue in our world for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was weird with the black community, how, you know, they threw us bones.
Yeah.
And they threw us little fucking bones, right? In order to, you know, here's basketball, here's popular culture, right? That's what they did do, right? And they made black people kind of regain some sort of culture in a weird way. And they gave us our culture, if you really look at it. You know, we celebrate Martin Luther King Day and we celebrate Black Cultural Days, right, to remember the past, but that's slowly fading as well.
See,
you know?
Here's the thing about black culture, right? There's no one identifiable black culture because Africa's huge, and every country in Africa has their own culture that they present, right? I think the unique thing about what happens when you take somebody out of their country and bring them to a country with just, you know, forced servitude and slavery, the people of the culture, they don't lose that culture when they first come, right? Like, what happened with indigenous people is literally genocide.
Genocide, yeah.
So you erase any particular feeling that they could have towards the culture, and you brainwash them to hate their culture. So this is genocide, and then it's literally ethnic cleansing at its purest form. This is what happened to the indigenous people. But with Africans that were stolen from Africa and brought here, they had culture they brought with them. So you see, every single genre of music that exists stems from African culture. Yeah. And I don't give a fuck what kind of music you have, it all stems from African culture at some point. Yeah. Everything with percussion started in Africa. Everything. Yeah. So I think that the power of black entertainers in North America, they're just too fucking talented and too overpowering. You cannot.
Well, it's because that culture's been created, bro. Right? It's been created to be that way. You know, and just like I talk about how everything's fixed in life, I think sports is fixed, right? I think everything's this way. And you're going to see with the indigenous people, they're going to create new culture for them. It's going to happen. You're going to see indigenous people in 5 years in a completely different way than we saw them 5 years ago.
Or do you think it's them identifying this part of themselves that they want to shine, as opposed to the culture being it? Do you think the structure is that dominant?
Yes. Yeah, I do. There's a reason none of us that all three of us are talented and we haven't had a shot. We haven't sucked the right dick in life. We haven't been thrown a bone. It's the truth, man. You can work your fucking ass off till you're old. And why don't you get that chance? If you know a guy is super talented, why does he not get one chance to get up there? Even those fucking talent shows are rigged. You think that's just some poor schmuck up there that's like, oh, I'm fucking good. I can do this. Let's go, bro. Right? And gets up there? No, they're fucking using that person. The real talented guy is the guy that says, I'm not going to sell out and go on that thing because I'm fucking better than that. Right? But they don't want those guys because those guys are not malleable. You can't work with them. So jaded. I'm not jaded, dude. It's the truth of the matter is when you talk to people that are way up there, they tell you the truth of what life is like. The guys who are up there and big producers that I've met and I've talked to are like, dude, it's not fucking roses. It's a business. You know, we don't care. We don't care about talent. We care about that person has the it factor. That's it, right? And I think when it comes to culture, it will be the same. Look, Asian people have created a community and a culture for themselves that is unbreakable, right? We can't break that what they've created.
Communism will allow that for sure,
right? Yeah. It's tough, and America knows it, and America is going that way, and we're creating a new culture, and that's why I worry about indigenous people, because the indigenous people are in a very vulnerable position right now. They're looking for justice, and they're looking for identity, and they don't want retribution, they want justice. We don't want compensation, we want fucking blood.
Held accountable.
They're burning churches.
Yep.
That means there's going to be a culture change with them, right? And you're going to see them in politics. You're going to see more Aboriginal leaders stepping the fuck up and taking over pop culture. And, you know, as we don't appreciate indigenous rap very much in this country, it's not appreciated by a lot of people unless you know guys and you know their music.
There's some dope ass and
super talented,
hip-hop artists that
but they get zero shine, bro. Zero shine. You know as well as I do, they get zero.
For real.
That's going to change. Yeah. They're going to throw Canadian pop culture at the indigenous people, and that's what you're going to start seeing. You're going to start seeing more people in the modeling and the Miss America and models, and they're going to throw pop culture because pop culture is the true justice that they'll deserve. And it's what they did with African American. They said, you know what? We're going to put you on high so that people don't look down at you. They put you up as idols because that's the only way we're going to change our view, right? Is we have to do that.
And the real question is, when you go and dig this fucking wormhole, who is the entity you're talking about that's making this decision?
The true rulers of the world. Passive women who don't want to see people fighting and want to connect people. It's not men, it's women, man. Women are the next big leaders. That's why every single group is going to get their lane and they're going to thrive in it. They've seen it. It happened in America. It's going to start happening everywhere else. How do you think we are going to deal with the millions of Chinese people that are coming over here to live? We have to create culture around that. We can't fight them. We can't fight them, and we can't ask that racist piece of shit to be friends with him. We can't. You have to create a culture over time that people are cool with, right? And that's why you see Asian people in sports. It was the one necessary thing that had to happen. You had to have Asian sport stars.
Make things all sports leagues are fixed.
Yes. I don't think the outcome is fixed. I think they let the men play and women play. But what I think is fixed is the controlling of the entertainment.
What about combat sports?
Same.
Explain what you mean by the controlling of the entertainment.
So everything that we pay for is entertainment. Sports, even though it's sports, it's a game. It's still entertainment. That's why selling it online is worth billions and billions. On TV, it's worth billions and billions, right? Mm-hmm. So they have to protect that billions and billions, and they can't let true fate, control their money. If you have hundreds of billions of dollars or billions of dollars at stake, are you gonna really let fate control what happens with your product? You fucking no company in hell would do that.
So you think essentially they pick their favorites,
Yeah.
or pick the most marketable, potentially bankable, push them to the forefront.
LeBron and AD should not have been. Okay, let's go even more. KD should not have been allowed to team jump from team to team. He should not have been allowed to do that. They should have stopped that, just like they stopped the trade back in the day with fucking Chris Paul to the Lakers. Remember?
That was a little different.
But it's not. They stopped it, just like they stopped the fucking deal with the pellet or the other guy. When the team owned the team, they didn't do the COVID.
Yeah. The Chris Paul deal.
Yeah. Right. So it's controlled. It's evident. They have to protect their interests. What they didn't count on, they wanted LeBron and KD in the finals this year because they knew that was money. It's the only reason they let KD go over there. Right. Right. It's the only reason, because they wanted the money. They knew how big the money was, and then they got injured. Now they're screwed. The ratings are down.
So then you look at what we do, and you don't think there's a possibility that one of us could kick down the doors?
Yeah, you can, but you got to jump into the game. You got to be in the game. You can't be trying to do your own lane. You got to kind of do your own lane in the game now. That's why they require these stars to be 360, right? Movie, writer, actor, musician, model. Right? You gotta have all these things, man. You gotta have lots of tentacles out there.
So Sam, you're super independent. How do you feel being an independent artist?
It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is a lot of work.
Do you feel satisfaction out of it though?
Yeah, man. Yeah, get out, do it. I think what's beautiful about being multifaceted is that you're one energy and you can kind of see your product through. And when it comes out, it's just different, the way people experience it is different, but it takes a long time, to create the foundation.
Yeah, so there's people that rap, there's people that sing, there's people that make beats, but for your creative process, you all of them, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So doing all of them, you get to feel the product a little differently. For me, I go and talk to producers, find beats, listen to beats, vibe with the beat, and then the creation is that. But from creation to delivery, it's all you. So your satisfaction level must be a little bit different than most artists.
Probably. Yeah, I would say, I think my satisfaction is just, like when I see just the effect that it has on people. Mm-hmm. That's some great stuff.
Yeah, that's something special.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like for me, even like for my peace of mind, I get out and just, you go out to the bush and scream a little bit. Sometimes that feels great. Mm-hmm. So, that's another level of satisfaction for me, just to be able to have something that also emotionally balances me. Yeah.
When did you start getting creative? When do you remember your creativity starting?
That was like when I was 9 years old. No, I mean, from a very young age.
Yeah, probably banging on pots and shit when you're a kid, right? And
who knows, man. Went to church and people would be clapping their hands.
So what came first? Singing, rapping? Could you do a little of both?
Yeah, singing.
What kind of music?
Gospel music.
That's so.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started.
That's like the steroids of the music industry.
Yeah,
right? Gospel.
You gotta sing.
Yeah.
Like when someone goes to gospel, like, oh yeah, he's a good singer. He went to church his whole life.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a good singer, right? Like,
Different level.
Yeah, it's different level.
That's right.
So you're able to start flexing at a young age.
Yeah, man. It was interesting. You know, I get around some people, and some people are just like belting out and just screaming at the top of their lungs. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna belt and scream at the top of my lungs. So
I think that's kind of how most artists begin. They start mimicking the things that they like the most.
Totally.
And then start realizing that, hey, I got my own little style in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So gospel was your first kind of musical influence.
Yeah.
So you went to church with your family, your mom, or who took you to church?
Yeah, the whole family. We all went to church. Yeah.
Do you have a big
Play some
family?
music. Yeah, there's like 5 of us kids. You know.
Oh, 5 kids?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. Where are you on the list there?
I am number 2.
You're number 2, so second oldest.
Second oldest.
Oh,
Yeah, we got a basketball team.
Oh wow.
Starting lineup for sure, yeah.
That was crazy. So what year were you born?
For me, 1989.
1989.
So the 80s.
Yeah.
So you're 90s. So you're growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
You're growing up right at the very beginning of the cultural shift in music.
Golden era.
That was the golden era
for a lot of people.
His parents might have been listening to a lot of the soul from the 80s. There was a lot of soul, a lot of Motown maybe in your home growing up.
Well, maybe, but no.
Oh, I had lots.
Any hip-hop?
They were listening to a lot of Christian music.
A lot of Christian
Right,
music.
so like more country vibes and all that stuff.
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah. For me, I just I like to listen to like Tupac. His messaging and stuff. It really helped me through some tough times.
Did you have to listen to that in secret?
The Secret?
No. Did you have to listen to that in secret?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
You did,
right? Yeah.
So you weren't allowed to have like music that had cuss words and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah. So no
shit,
secular music, right?
Oh wow.
So how would you listen to it? Like, what would you?
I just put on my headphones.
All right, and when they say we listen to it, I'm listening to a little.
But wait,
you know.
is this
Yeah.
is it
Gospel?
This is that Discman era. You would have had iPod.
Yeah, just at the end of this one.
Discman.
Yeah, I think I had a Discman.
He had a shop.
Probably like my first one was probably a Discman. Yeah, and then got the CD-ROMs.
Yeah.
Have to put that in the big back pocket.
Jesus.
And then
Young people
MP3
don't
stop
know.
game.
Some people don't know, man. How much
What's your
baggage.
favorite way to listen to music? Like your favorite method throughout your life? What has been?
How do you mean? Give me an example.
Like you get you can go MP3s, you go records, you go CDs, tapes. What is your what was your? If you have to say your best way to listen to it, the one that makes you smile, kind of
Feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. Are you a new generation digital music where you can hear different things or like records where you hear the original music and instruments being played?
Well, the thing is, the type of music I love to listen to are usually like soul sampled hip hop beats.
Nice.
Like some soul hop.
Yeah.
Some
Chill out.
Ninth Wonder.
Soul.
P-Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oof.
Even some newer ones. There's 14KT and I've been listening to Brass Tracks lately.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a really interesting vibe. Oh, my phone just fell over.
Oh, interesting.
Fix it, here, I'll fix it.
So you mentioned Pac earlier. What's your favorite Pac album?
I liked his Mama song. I mean, I even wrote my own Mama song, inspired by that.
Mama. Yeah, that Me Against the World album is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Pac is one of those guys, man. He was able to. I think.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, fix it up. Don't worry, we'll just.
I'm gonna keep talking while you guys get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think Pac, entertainment-wise, was one of those weird things that did everything well. Like he rapped well, he acted well, he could pretty much do everything artistically and nail it.
Yeah, I agree, dude. That's the one thing about Pac. Make sure. What we're doing a check. We'll do it all at once. See, this is the thing that the world really missed out on Pac. If he had a complete full life,
Yeah.
he would be at the spot where we're at. He'd be 50 years old right now. Shit. Right? So he would be at the spot where we're at, thinking about media. He'd be thinking about how can I control the language that's coming? Like his family, his
If
mother.
Pac had access to social media,
He would. He'd only be 50.
He would have.
He would have been 40 when it started, basically.
Oh yeah, you couldn't fuck with Pac at all. if you had a platform like that where he could just be on all the time, like even when you see Pac interviews, he's not a regular dude. That guy's energy that he puts out when he speaks is so high all the time. It's a completely different animal, man. I don't know how you can listen to Pac and not be motivated.
Yeah.
Fucking, he goes in.
Hey, what do you think you need to do to become like a constantly working artist in today's world? Like, what is your opinion? You've been around, man. You've been around the world and shit. Like, it's so good. Like, tell the people, like, how many countries have you been to? And you're like that freak.
13 or something.
13? Yeah, it's crazy. Right? So you've been around, man. You've seen people. You've performed with so many different acts and people, right? Like, what do you think it takes now? Besides obvious talent, what are the X factor things that you need to have?
I think the main thing is to be able to actually know how to build relationship.
That's good, man.
Because, you can't know everything, and everybody knows you can't know everything. So, I think it's fair to show up to the world with the understanding that you don't know everything.
Yeah.
And then that way, you can be humble and ask someone to teach you something. Or, yeah. I mean, I have a song called In My Chill about just like going off and relaxing and, creating space also to think. Because sometimes your answer, I live my life like I connect the dots. Sometimes I make my plans, but other times I literally see the plan.
Yeah.
I'm like,
just follow along.
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
What do you think that is?
What do I think that is? I think that's me seeing past patterns.
So
in future tense.
So you see it as this time that you're in not really being a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you see the path, then you just walk into it. Yeah, and like it's interesting if you see that, but at the same time, anything can change at any time, right? But if things switch up, if you're able to see patterns, it's all also about being aware of your own self, right? So sometimes I'm going through something and maybe it's happening over and over. It pays off for me to just calm my mind and just really be thinking about, okay, what's been going on here? Is there a pattern going on here? And then I can act better in the next time this thing happens. Maybe if it's my relationship with someone, or if it's maybe something I said or did that made me lose that opportunity, which in turn made me feel a certain way, which in turn put me in this depressed state or whatever, Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's so hard for people to like self-reflect, right? It really is hard for people because
there's a lot of noise.
Well, that's a part of it, and a part of it people don't like facing truths either, right? Because you if you're reflecting on self, you're gonna find some shitty things about yourself that you don't like, and people don't like being made uncomfortable in a very comfortable world.
Yeah, but this is what makes the artist great, is that the artist realizes their truths and their faults, right? And because the artist is alone so much, most of our time we're alone creating, right? And so you have to face yourself. And that's what you become, that's what makes you better, I think, right? It's the people that aren't authentic that don't really make it very far. You gotta be yourself always. Right, and be cool with yourself more, and then go and put out the art.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of acts, unfortunately a lot in this city, that are artists put out a project and then disappear because they just assume that.
Keep that lie.
Well, they just assume that this is gonna be the greatest thing. I'm gonna become a baller. And when it doesn't, you're like, oh fuck.
Deflates you.
And then you realize but then you realize it's not for you, and you go back to your whatever else makes you money, right?
Yeah.
But I think with artists that just love doing art, they're gonna do it whether or not they get paid for it. And they're just always gonna be doing it.
Oh yeah. You gotta just do it because you want to do it.
It just feels good.
Right?
Dude, if I stopped writing, I would be fucking depressed.
Yeah, it would be depressing.
I try to write something every day, whether it's like a 60, just something, just keep the fucking. I literally still do pen and paper.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I've had to actually evolve, guys. When I first started in grade 8, started writing, it was pencil and paper, pen and paper. I still have the 3-binder book. Like that whole thing's filled up with all this poetry. I'd love to actually go and dig it up again.
Do it.
Yeah.
You'd be so happy.
Yeah, for real. And then over time, it's like now I've got my phone, right? And before I would actually take time to sit and get into the flow and write. But with this new busy life that I got, a lot of us, as we grow up, we just get busier, right? That's why maybe an older guy can't learn a new instrument.
Yeah.
You don't have the time anymore, right? Yeah. I don't. Could it be mine not there? I mean, it could be, but also it's just the time as well, right? Because with enough repetition, no matter how old you are, you could probably figure it out.
Hell yeah.
Eventually.
Hell yeah.
But without time,
you just take more time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know I lost my train of thought.
but that's true, man. Like that's the harder part for people, I think, today, and for artists, I would think, is distraction. But you gotta cut distraction out of your life.
Well, you were talking about tactile, right? So you find yourself on the go, writing stuff.
Right. Yes. So like, anytime there's an inspiration, like, let me see if I can pull one of my latest things up.
That's interesting.
And see, we have computers on us,
right?
So you can save as much data as you need. There's no lack of paper.
Because I gotta be sitting.
Really?
With my pen and pad.
As I'm driving, I will dictate the entire movie that I want to write. I'll dictate it on my phone as I'm driving. Opening scene, blah blah blah. Make sure you put this scene in, that scene. Yeah, right. And
everyone's got their ways, right?
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay, so check it. I said, resistance equals distance. For instance, the first time I took that path took persistence. Seemed like so long due to self-imposed friction. Give you my diction and give you fiction when I release some.
Oh yeah. So that shit just comes to you.
You have to put it down. Have to put it down.
Yeah.
I found myself doing the voice recorder a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
Because I have a lot of melodies. I can't sing them or shit though. Yeah. But I have a lot of melodies that I give to other people to sing. Yeah. But the voice recorder is fucking dope.
And I read this thing once that it's okay to just create stuff and never do it.
Facts.
Right? And it's like, but they always say, like, write it down. So every time you get a thought idea, just write it down. Always, right? And so, like, I literally have books that when I was in jail, wake up, right? When you start writing wrong, right? In the car, find the shine the light on, you're naked in the thing, writing in your book. Right? It's like, holy.
Okay, so interesting train of thought. 3 different people, 3 completely different backgrounds, 3 completely different upbringings. Yeah. All saying the exact same thing about creation, how it just fucking happens, and you have to put it down. What the fuck do you think that is?
Wait, you're gonna have to repeat that.
So we all said the same thing, that creation, it just pops into your head and you have to put that shit down.
Okay.
All 3 of us said the same thing. 3 completely different existences. What is that? Why? You think we're just catching creativity in the air?
No, I think it's the same as 3 guys who love to work out and are fucking eating properly and working out constantly.
But you said a specific thing, love working out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a mindset, I think.
But with this, so you think that because we want to create art, we catch art?
We're the ones there are certain people on this earth who will live long. We are one of the ones who will live long. Because the fact is, we're constantly creating and thinking of things and creating and looking at how to make the world better. Our brains are going to stay together.
So you think it's you doing it?
What do you mean? Like that we're creating? It's how we were born. We were born a certain personality trait, and this is it. It's not coincidence that we're all together. It's because we were born under this, I think, personality trait. It's like if you have Sam, how many brothers and sisters do you have? You have 4, right?
Yeah, 3.
Are they all different personalities?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, right? Mm-hmm. So they all have different likes and stuff, right? Yeah. So that's really crazy that they all have different, but if you see that, they all have different things. They'll all like different things. And there are people out there similar to them, so they'll find those people that are similar to those personalities. They won't stray and find a guy like us because we won't get along with them, right? They'll find likewise people.
It's crazy. Every time you hear artists in interviews, they talk about their creativity. So many artists you hear say, it's not me, it's fucking whatever, just comes out of me, right? Don't really have control over it. It's pretty wild to think.
I believe people who deny it, who are like us, if any one of us were to deny what we do, we become drug addicts or we become alcoholics or we take on some sort of vice that would fill that void, that would be really bad. Or we'd be workaholics. And go 9 to 5, fucking,
miserable.
10 hours a day, right?
Yeah. The cat's wailing over there.
I'm sure the camera will pick that up. So when do you remember did you start writing raps first? Or,
Poetry, grade 8.
Spoken word type stuff.
What's that rhyme? It says, I remember way back that in grade 8, where my English teacher taught poetry. But then I thought this could be it. I put it in a metaphor. I called it my country.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You actually remember it.
Oh, you knew that, eh?
It's crazy because I remember when we first started rapping, everyone was a fucking battle rapper. Everybody wanted to be a fucking battle rapper. And everybody wanted to cut up your throat. Wu-Tang was really big. And it was like fucking set. Everybody had to have like multiple syllable rhyme schemes and shit, but it's dope because it made you way better, man. Yeah. It makes you way better when you try yourself with other creatives.
Yeah.
So now you've put how much time into creating music, would you say, in your life?
It's been like an exponential takeover of my whole system. So now it's like, yeah, that's kind of like all I really think about. Yeah, I'm always looking at how energy's flowing, what's happening, and what happens after what happens. Like, and I try and find these patterns and be able to put them into lyrics. You know, like I think of like, okay, what am I thinking about? How do I feel right now? All right, I got this goal. All right, let me talk about this. All right, I'm feeling great about this, or I'm feeling so pissed about this. You know, I keep track on all these things, and I put it into.
And at this point, do you already have beats at this point, or are you just free writing and then matching them up to beats?
Free writing right now.
And then you find the beat placement and things later, and
I would create the beats later, yeah.
And build them around the vocals.
Yeah.
That is fucking convenient, yo.
Wow.
That is
really good.
And I'll tell you why it's convenient for for hip hop artists that are rappers that are watching. When you have rhyme patterns in your head, it's really hard to make them fit other people's beats.
Right.
They're not thinking in your cadence. They're not thinking in your patterns, and you have to make your flows fit a little differently to accommodate the beat.
Yeah.
But being able to build a beat around your cadence, what you already have in mind, is fucking a deal, man.
You can also go the other way where you build a beat and write something out of that beat.
Right.
Which actually
knowing what you're hearing already.
Yeah, so I think that's the way everyone usually does it.
Yeah.
But I think if you create the beat and write it as well, you have control over the sound, you know? If you already feel a concept. Yeah.
And you write all the time. Well, what you don't have beats. You just write this cuz?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I write without beats. I just
write this.
I just hear the song and I just write, and then
So do you write melodies as well?
No, because I never think I'm gonna do anything. I just write stuff, right? And then it's like, I don't know. If you said, hey, we're gonna do something, right? Then I would write and I would practice and everything, right? But it's not my thing. My thing is different type of
everything else.
Yeah, just everything else, right? I can't take on music. Music is music is religion. It really is, man. The things that I've seen music do to people and for people, and for the people making it, it's religion. Yeah.
It's a loud one.
You trying to come up?
Yeah, he probably wants me in.
He wants you in?
Yeah, he wants me. Yeah, he wants to
talk to you.
He wants to have a word.
Yeah.
Is he the manager?
Should I shut the gate?
Being Karen.
Should I shut the gate?
Where is he?
Oh, it's right over there.
He's right over there. Yeah.
Oh. It's looking kind of suicidal, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He's bad.
It's all good.
I gotta shut the gate. He's fucking distracted.
So Mike's cat is about to commit suicide.
It's that bitch, man.
Because it's very, very clingy. It really loves Mike.
Well, no, he just wants to go downstairs. He doesn't care about me.
So we now, and I know Mike wants to be a part of this conversation, but I'm going to intro it. We've now been exposed to the hottest motherfucking weather that we have ever experienced in the Lower Mainland and on the west coast of Canada.
It was very hot.
How you dealing with the heat?
I'm pretty good, man. I noticed it's brought out the crazy people in this city of ours. Crazy people go crazy in the heat. How do I feel? I don't know. I just deal with it. I just sweat it out. I just don't shower until the evening. Sometimes I don't shower. It's just like It's a mental game. It's a mental game. You let the sun beat you, you're done. How do you deal with it? You like it? Are you
Bro,
heat guy or
melanin power, man?
No, but some people.
I was born with armor, so I've been spending a lot of days at Red Beach. It's been great.
Are you naked? You go naked?
Yeah.
Like full blown naked?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Naked.
Oh yeah, let me ask you something. Do you roll there with an instrument or anything anytime?
I did once.
You did. That's what I was gonna ask you.
My jambe, took my whole setup.
Yeah. And what happened? What happened when you did
I just didn't set up.
Oh, you did? Yeah, so I was
I think it was too late or something.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you how it would feel to play naked.
Yeah.
Right? Like how awkward. Imagine if you were like, okay, naked, and you're gonna go rap.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Right? You should do it.
Yeah, but he's ripped though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fuck yeah, it does.
No,
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, man. Trust me.
You gotta be confident as fuck to not be ripped and do like the Fat Joe, DJ Khaled, belly all hanging out.
Well, if you rapped every day,
Yeah.
then you eventually stop caring about.
Yeah.
You know how people you know the different reactions. You learn to read the faces, and in that comes a little bit of peace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now you're comfortable because you have to read. It's all about communication.
Do you feel like you're an exhibitionist?
What do you mean?
Do you feel like you just love to be out all the time, showing your stuff off?
What, being naked?
That as well, but just like
or like being like out there
fully
performing.
fully comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, it's good for my mind.
No inhibitions.
Yeah.
So this is a training for you, in a sense, doing that.
Yeah.
Like it mentally makes you stronger. Like you take
Yeah.
down the judgment shield, right?
Take down the judgment shield, shake away from what I think is the right way to do something, because you know what, if I'm so laser focused on one little thing, on what is told me or that everyone says is the way to do something, I may not find something else that is a better way, because I've just experienced too much of that where someone's like, nah, it's totally this way, and it's like, it's really killing you.
Right.
So, I find,
listen to.
yeah, it's all everything's like reflective of each other, so even me just getting out there and doing that, it will reflect in other parts in my mannerisms and other things as well.
But what's the goal? What's the goal for the music? If you could present your idea
out there,
yeah. If you could present your idea to the world, what would your goal be?
Oh, okay. So not just Reg Beach performance.
Nah.
Got it. My goal would just be, just creating sounds that induce, like actually naturally induce a feeling of calm for a message to pass through. Okay? And then the message to be just various things. It could be focused on just a good feeling of the music, where it could just be 3 words over and over. I haven't made something like that yet, but that's a possibility. A lot of the things that I have currently that I play are dealing around the concept of glory and pain, and triumph, and celebrating ourselves, being in a good mindset so that you can work better.
It's big.
Environment, putting your brain in an environment where it will thrive at what you do, right?
Yeah, and I feel like even in my music, as I progress and I start creating the new stuff to exhibit, and get them ready to be exhibited, because you can like write the material and make the beat, but then you gotta practice, you gotta put it together, you gotta actually almost pray with it.
Yeah.
You gotta have like your solo moments with your music, and think to yourself like, what does this mean to me? Because you're about to go tell someone else something.
Yeah. And
someone's fate may potentially be in your hands for 5 seconds. You don't even know.
Yeah, it's got to be it's got to be a real extension of you, especially when you try to be creative with words.
Yeah.
Because if you write something dope, but you can't perform it dope, the fuck's the point of having it written down?
Well, that's why those guys sold all those years, and they just, as they're writing hits for people, they're in the background learning how to become a superstar. So they'll write their own shit, like Bruno Mars did.
Right.
Years.
Kanye too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's making beats, but he's like learning from all the folks while
Neo as well.
But they had to learn how to become a star, And you look at like how, you remember how you said the other day about Post Malone not liking rap? when you were on the Alite podcast, that you film every single Sunday with Queasy right here on High Phrase Media Network.
Yep.
But remember you said that he doesn't even listen to hip hop?
Yeah. He said he doesn't listen to any rap music. But he just got an award for being the highest selling hip hop.
Yeah.
Fucking artist. That makes me so mad.
It's because he studied all those years to become that guy.
No,
that
he's
was his character.
Fucking propped up puppet.
That was his character. He created that character with the tattoo on your face and singing the hits. And a melody, might I add you, that when I researched it, that melody was the most favorable to women, right? So that when they play all these notes and all these keys, his did you hear about that? Yeah. So it was the most appealing to women, which was the market they were trying to grab and put into hip hop. That's how do we get women involved? That's a major market.
Honestly, he's one of the most atrocious artists out of all of those fucking imposters that try to call what they do hip hop.
Yeah,
it means a fucking lot to me when I see these whack ass artists that are called hip hop. So the BET Hip Hop Awards just happened. You watched any of the award shows? Did you see any award shows?
No, I didn't.
It was like a 4-hour long extravaganza. Now, if you're a hip hop fan, it's dope because all the big names show up, all the big artists come and rock the mic. It's actually really dope.
Yeah.
Tyler, the Creator, had a crazy performance. A lot of really good performances, but the guys that are considered like what's poppin', like the guys that are on the covers of the XXL, new talent artists.
Lil Uzi Vert?
No, he didn't perform. But like even like Lil Baby and the Baby. Dude, the live performances are fucking garbage, man.
Oh really?
Garbage. And when I say garbage, what I mean is they have the vocal track playing in the back, right? And all they're doing is and every now and then putting like the four bars of and then the track just plays in the background. What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
that's entertainment.
Dude, you see someone like Rakim, even the Snoop Dogg. Okay, Snoop Dogg's lyrically overall fairly simple.
Yeah.
Right. He's got a great flow. He's got a great voice.
Yeah.
But lyrically, he's not like compound metaphors. He's not doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But when he performs live, you hear every fucking bar.
Yeah, that's true.
He just nails it every time. Right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are the expectations so low for the new acts?
It's just different, man. I don't know. It's almost like you're one country looking to another country asking why you talking like that.
Like it's language, right?
Yeah. But you know what? If there's a market for it, well, it exists. It's there.
Is it the evolution of music? Is the so-called...
It could be a branch. It could be a branch. There's many branches. Choose which one and go.
Well, because even you look at your music, like your music is very progressive, right? It's very ahead of the time. And if people hear it for the first time, they'll be like, what is this? And then when you listen to the entire album or the CD, right? That's why I have your shit. It's on CD. Right? So I got it on CD. All right? But when I listen, there's a journey that goes on in it. It isn't just sounds and words. There's a journey there. And if you really pay attention to it, you can feel it. It's the same with his album. You can tell that you guys are artists, right? Because of how you position the story of your album, right? There's a story to it.
It's dope. Appreciate that.
Well, no, it's true though, man. And I mean, I think that's another thing for artists that they need to understand is that when you take somebody's time, it isn't just to show what you can do. It's to take them on a fucking voyage. You know, take them on a trip that makes them feel good at the end, right?
Dude, I come from the era where a front-to-back album of bangers was what your aim was. Yeah. Like, you know, Nas Illmatic, you know, Biggie's Ready to Die, Pac's Apocalypse Now. All these guys' goal with the album was to have an album full of fucking bangers. And it's normally like the weakest track would have been the one that was the radio hit. Like, when I say weakest, I mean weakest lyrically, weakest like delivery-wise and like competition-wise. Easiest track are the ones that become the radio hits. Yeah. And then the album is just full of bangers. Yeah. But now the goal is to just put out singles that are bangers, and they never become an album.
No.
Yeah.
That kind of models.
Yeah.
I think unless you're like an established, like an Alicia Keys and Eminem, then you have the power to put out an album.
Yeah.
But for the most part, artists just gotta keep popping up those singles. So you can't really create a story now unless you get real buy-in from the fans, right? If they really appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, and these artists don't even make money off their music. Like, it's like, they gotta get 100 million views, and then, okay, your face is famous. Now we'll put your face on something. or he'll have you hold something on camera, right? That's really where they're making their money.
I saw Most Def on Talib Kweli's podcast.
That's it.
Talking about Spotify, and he said, "Who the fuck decided that you could separate a penny? Because you don't even make a penny and Spotify streams. It's like 0.0006 of a penny.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Who the fuck thought that you could divide a fucking penny? How greedy
That's brutal.
are these fucking app creators where they only not even a penny for your music?
Yeah.
If every artist just said, "Fuck it, we're taking our music off, Spotify's dead."
Yeah. But they know it's just another streaming site will pop up and their music's gone anyway. They know this. Spotify has the brand name, so at least if their catalog is on there, at least you're listening to their music. So when they pop up in an ad and tell you to buy fucking,
it's almost like a commercial for your merch.
Yeah, that's it. It's
That hurts.
that's the crazy part though. So now you got to make your music and license it, or make your music and hope enough people online, because it's all online now, see it and like it, and then you pimp your face. You pimp your face through brands. That's it, and sell merch.
I don't be a hobo.
But that's the way it was.
I don't like pimps.
25 years ago, it was different. 25 years ago, you were standing at the fucking producer's door, banging, trying to give him a mixtape. If you think about it, it was only 25 years ago.
Even sooner than that, yeah.
Right? You were like trying to handle mixtapes. Like, hey man, listen to my shit. Now it's like you almost have to drop a video or go viral somehow.
Yeah.
And then that's your quickest route.
Have you thought about how you're gonna put your music out when you're ready?
I street perform.
Yeah. And
So,
that's the beauty of you.
Yeah, thanks. The system that I go with is, maybe I'm a little bit different than the regular artist, but like since I go out, I've traveled before, and like I just want to do more of that and expand that.
So the idea for you is it's not a commodity for you.
I find that making music videos and the music, it's just about expanding, you know.
Yeah.
As I'm playing, if people like it, you know, then there's a place they can see it. I'm not looking at the streaming platform to pay me. You know, I want to create my ideas and let that pay me.
Still.
And if Spotify and those other guys do a little song, well, great.
Yeah.
Would you say you're Kanye inspired?
I'm Kanye inspired.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Vibe,
I can feel it.
vibe.
I can feel it, and I can feel it in your music.
Yeah.
I've seen you perform many times, and you do a fucking cover of "All Falls Down."
Yeah.
That is memorable as fuck because you sing it.
Yeah.
And then you rap the verse.
Yeah.
Is that something that you only use on shows? Have you actually recorded that?
That cover?
Yeah.
I haven't recorded it.
Ah.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a cover.
Send it to Kanye. Hey man, he's got his head in the clouds. So he's not watching anything.
You never know.
Yeah, it's 100% possible.
He's going through divorce, man. He's got some hard times coming.
Who, Kanye?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you need some Sam Chimes to sing some All Falls Down.
Remind him when he was fucking dope.
But he has a human problem, and the human problem is, you get old and you feel less than. And that's what happened.
You think Kanye feels less than?
Yes.
I think Kanye feels more than you could possibly ever feel more than.
No, I don't think so, man.
Motherfucker, comparisons.
Explain.
God.
I really, really like Kanye. I think Kanye, as an artist and as an entrepreneur and the shit that he's done, I think he fucking ranks up there in the top 5
He's a
all
genius.
time.
He's a genius.
And when I mean top 5, I mean top 5 of artists. I mean Michael Jackson.
You mean period overall?
Yeah.
He's pretty phenomenal, I'd say.
And the things that he's managed to do in his life because of sheer will. The Yeezy line.
Fucking ugly.
Like, to be able to sell that and to get that and to do that is the genius of the kid, man. And the stories you hear about young Kanye before they put him on and how he used to grind it out at the shows and he used to fucking write shit and come up with stuff on the spot and you know what I mean? Like genius in the studio, like that's the Kanye that needs to come back. His gospel stuff that he's doing the Fridays Sunday service, right? Like all that stuff, man, is genius.
Yeah,
and I think the only thing will ruin it is when he runs for president. He's gonna ruin it.
Man,
But he's gonna spend his fucking $1 billion running for president.
Dude, I love the artist that's Kanye.
Yeah, love it.
He's done some shit, man, that's so questionable.
It's unbelievable. He's a good idol to have.
Fuckery, man. Like with the whole Trump thing and calling Trump his dad and shit. It's like, what are you saying?
He called Trump his dad.
Yeah, he's like, you're like a father figure to me. You're like, what the fuck are you saying, Kanye?
But do you know what? He's not happy.
I don't know what the fuck he is. I don't know what the fuck
And there's a reason why he's not happy, because he's a human being. And any human being that's not living a real life at such a high level is not happy.
Yeah, it's such a fine line that you gotta tread all the time. You know?
All the time, man.
You gotta always check yourself that you're real.
Are you a big fan of all of his material, front to back?
No.
What don't you like?
You know what? I feel like there's like the newer stuff.
With 6ix9ine, that shit he did with 6ix9ine. Or...
That's not his album though, thankfully.
I guess I just like to stay in that
the style.
First
early, yeah.
Through the wire.
Yeah.
But dude,
that vibes more with me, you know. I'm not saying that his new stuff isn't good, but it's just like the one that actually vibes with me, and I know the energy in it, so I would listen to that more than.
Fucking
my favorite rap song. You know what my favorite rap song is?
What?
You would laugh at me if I tell you. You've never asked me what my favorite rap song is.
No, it haven't. What's your rap song?
Kanye song.
Which one? Through the what?
It's the #1 champion style. It's style we about to get down.
Weird.
We're the hottest in the club right now. Just stepped out in London town.
Why?
Oh, they gave me the pound. Better put the money in my hand right now. Tell the promoter we need more seats. Just sold out all the floor seats. Yeah, baby.
Why?
I don't know. I'm a DJ. It just that beat gets me, and I just get so happy every time I hear that song.
That motherfucker can put together a hot 16 on anything.
I re-sing that song at weddings as Canadian boy.
That's
Or Canadian girl. Sorry, I don't know. It's Canadian girl.
Okay.
It's fucking horrible.
He's probably the only artist I can think of that could make an entire album of Jay-Z and go bar for bar with arguably the best rapper to ever live and hold his own on every fucking track, man. Yeah. Every fucking track. And it's so weird for him. Obviously, he's got brilliant punchlines, got great wordplay, very witty, but his use of the language is so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So unique the way he flips words and uses language, and I think that makes him so fucking unique. I think that's one of my favorite parts about him, because at some point you don't even know what words he's using.
Yeah.
That's true. He stretches out words in such weird ways, like what? And then you kind of figure it out as he goes along. He's a fucking genius, man.
All right, so what do you listen to these days? Like, what do you listen to if you're just on downtime?
Brass tracks.
You listen to brass tracks.
Yeah.
I said that. Brass tracks.
Yeah. Some good vibes. Something about the horns. It's awesome.
You like the horns, eh? I was about to ask you what your favorite instrument was.
Explain to people who may not know what is brass tracks.
So brass tracks, they are pretty much a brass band. I recently discovered them, but haven't wikied them, so I don't know really what the conversation is. But you know, it's like a mixture of like brass instrumentation and also like electronic music, and you know that speaks to me with like what I do. So in a way, I'm also analyzing how you're mixing live with electronic. You know.
So what are you listening to hip hop right now?
Mainly beats, man.
Minds in the game, heads in the game.
So not a lot of voices in your ears right now besides yours.
Actually, I recently added a few local artists to my playlist, and you know, I'm
throw them out there.
Yeah, man. So hey, you need to go on Spotify and check out Chalita.
Chalita,
yeah, you'll know Chalita.
Chalita's a killer, man.
Yeah, she's got.
We had her in the space.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy voice.
Yeah,
she's really good. She's really good.
She's so fucking cool.
Yeah, very very cool person.
Yeah.
Well, who else you fucking with?
She's like putting out a lot of stuff too. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like she's actually like, it looks so good.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, she's mad high praise support.
Yeah.
Definitely high praise.
Yeah. And who's the other one?
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa. Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, she's fresh, man, but she's about to she's about to be a name around in Vancouver.
Oh man, we better get her on the podcast.
What kind of
she's got a great voice.
Talk to Mona.
If you imagine the Kanye beats and the female singing.
Oh yeah.
Damn,
man.
Yeah.
Where
so
do you find all these gems? You know,
I go and play. I street perform.
You just meet other artists.
That's it.
Where's your favorite city that you've ever performed in?
Oh, that's
Lisbon.
13. Lisbon, China.
Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, that one.
Huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
What made that special?
touristy type place. People are very much more relaxed, just down to earth. They're so chill.
Yeah,
right by the water, and a beer is €1 and a nice full meal is €3. And I play for 1 hour and make €100.
Wow.
I'm on vacation.
I wouldn't even leave there. Why would you even leave? Like,
so
I had a book into leave.
The kind of place that people actually will enjoy live music.
That's cool. Dude.
Totally, yeah.
That's a different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
How do you find it in Vancouver? And be honest, because motherfuckers need to know.
They need to know. To be continued.
You know what? I don't think it's a physical location, but I think it's a spiritual location. As far as Vancouver, when people relax and don't negate the neighbor and just like, yo, we're chilling, we're right here. And just also it's more about loving your own self. If more people just love themselves and be more aware of the other person, that'd be amazing.
Do you think it's a difficult city for artists?
It's tough.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I've only been here, so I can't even say, right? So I mean, I know my experience from here.
Right. But do you feel like it's a city that could have an artist blow, based on what you've seen?
I think so. I think so based on the fact that I know that there's a lot of info that yet I don't know. And I just see my experience growing, and what I'm basing this I think so on is to see my progress over each year and the things I've learned about and the things that I've seen help me. But it's like it takes time and I learn it over time. So eventually
you're hopeful.
I'm more hopeful.
And you're happy?
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like musicians, based on my experience, I think musicians are beginning to get a little bit more value.
Right. Sorry, man. It's about fucking you.
Like the city's hiring some musicians and all that stuff, But I think what's necessary is a hub or some way that people can hear and see what's going on, those sort of things. Hence why I made Community of Vancouver.
I thought that was really smart, buddy. Yeah. Like that was really a great idea.
Explain what that is.
Okay, so Community of Vancouver is an idea that I thought of in 5 minutes and put together in like 30 minutes. Yeah. As soon as I put that post up, right? You liked my post.
Yeah.
I just created this the email. I just thought of the idea. I'm like, well, it's not me who's gonna be putting stuff in. It's like, okay, anyway. So it's social media where the community of Vancouver artists, contributes to it. I guess it could be for artists.
I think that's what you would.
That's what
to the artists.
Yeah.
And that's your contribution to the site.
Yes.
And so
it's a process that could be replicated to any niche, but niche is definitely important. So artists, since I'm an artist too.
Yeah. So the idea is to just find a forum to make people aware of what's going on in the city.
Yeah, because you have a show and it's like the next neighbor didn't hear about it. Like I'm sending text messages, I'm like posting.
Yeah, you're on it, man. You're on it.
Yeah, and then I show up to my show and it's like only my friends' fans were there. I'm like, all right.
It's fucking tough, man.
And then people hollering back, oh, follow me. I'm like, okay, look, I've done events before. You've done events before. You got to tell everyone like 10,000 times. And if you don't tell them 10,001, they're not coming.
Yeah. I think the only way you get I've been in this fucking music scene for a long ass time. The only way you get people at shows is if you get their money up front.
Oh, I see.
Once they commit financially, then they're coming. Because if you tell people you can get tickets at the door, or I'll meet you and get your tickets, and that kind of bullshit, you're not gonna get people to show up. We've done very successful shows and we've done very unsuccessful shows.
Yeah.
And the pattern is if they have invested, they're going to come. And you can advertise it however the fuck you want, but honestly, man, flyers and shit matter. Because there's a lot of randoms that are music lovers in the city that will go watch artists. Like Live Acts is one of the local platforms that promote local shows and things like that.
Yeah.
When they do rock shows, that shit sells out. Packed houses. When they do hip hop shows, it's nothing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's fucking rough.
And that's in downtown Vancouver.
That's in it was Studio Records,
yeah,
which is a great venue. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a great fucking venue, and you just can't get people in hip hop shows.
Well, what I would think is like I would take all of the best artists in a certain genre in the city, and I would say, okay, each of you have to contribute 2 songs, and we're gonna do an event, and we're gonna sell tickets for it, and then we're gonna sell a CD that has those songs, your best songs on it that we performed, right? So the people who were at the event would buy the tickets, they would hear the songs, so those are the best songs, you can take those songs home, here's a compilation disc, right? And then that would start promoting Vancouver artists.
It's a dope idea.
Right? And then that way, it's just, because I think what's lacking.
It's gotta get buy-in there.
Yeah, dude. I think what the lacking part with the artists here is that there's nobody like a Puffy. Like, they need a Puffy here.
Dame Dash.
They need a Dame Dash.
Yeah.
They need a Suge Knight. They need someone that takes it and runs with all the talent and fucking starts promoting
Kicks down doors, yeah.
Yeah, and comes up with ideas and goes, okay, Sam, man, you got this thing going on. We're gonna do this for you. And then everybody in a collective helps that artist get there.
Now, here's the thing. Vancouver's still a radio city.
Yeah.
Vancouver,
That's what that person would have to do.
Yeah, Vancouver still listens to radio stations.
Yeah.
Like Z95.3 is Pop District B. All these radio stations still have listeners.
Yeah.
But they don't play any fucking local music.
There's no reason to.
Not one fucking song. Not even like an hour showcase of just local
That's
artists.
a valuable 3 minutes.
That's huge because you get opened up to listeners that would never maybe stream on Spotify. There's still people that don't use that shit. Right? They still buy their music and do it a different way.
What I would think you would probably have to do to get a radio station interested in you as a person, as a promoter, you would book a main act, right? That's a popular culture main act that you can sell tickets for. Then you shove about 3 or 4 Vancouver artists in as the opening thing, right?
It's been tried.
Okay, but then you go to the radio station.
That's the difference.
And say, we have this event, we want you guys to be on a sponsor on it. We're gonna ask you, if you don't do it, we're gonna go to the other side of town and we're gonna get them on. You've already done all the hard work. All we're telling them is you can put your fucking banner up at our event for free.
So you don't think humiliating them over and over again is gonna help?
With the radio station?
No.
No.
You don't think calling them out and saying they're whack is not gonna help?
You gotta give them that free sponsorship for the event if they want it. And the only thing you want in exchange is airtime. You don't pay me any cash, I've done it, but I want these fucking artists right here, I want some airtime.
It's gotta connect with one of the DJs, man.
It doesn't matter.
Does it matter to you having your music on the radio? Does it matter?
Not really. Not right now. If it goes on, then that's great. That's much better.
It's a plus.
Yeah.
So you're really in your zone. That's where it's at. You're in your space.
You know, like I work with what I have. You know.
Yeah.
Instead, I don't want to look on lack. You know, say if the radio station comes up, you know, that's great. You know, I can hit up DJ Denise and like, yo, can you play some of this? Yeah, you know, URP radio, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if it gets up on other radio stations, that's just amazing. That's just great. I don't know. I have a feeling like it's not impossible, and it's just about being there and just being ready for the opportunity. And that's why I go back again to relationship. You get to know who is in control of all of that. You know, if your music is dope, you're a great person. You know, no problem. We're not afraid of you. Just come on up. Let's come on up and talk to us. What's good?
In this entire conversation, you exude a shitload of positivity. I'm gonna get you to say some nasty shit.
He's so positive. I know he's sitting here thinking of his next song. He's like, I'm gonna write some shit about these motherfuckers.
Like fucking guys.
They're making me angry. I'm like,
I gotta tell you,
flies and shit in here, man. I'm gonna write a fucking song.
I gotta tell you. So somebody asked me to write a song, and I was like, okay, what's the theme? He's like, hecklers.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not really the subject that I like to write about. But I'm like, okay, but still, there's a Sam Chimes flavor in here somewhere. I sat down and thought about it. I'm like, So the concept came out as the hecklers are still there. They're all everywhere I go. I've been around the globe and they're everywhere around the world, And at the end, it's like almost like lifted toast, you know, because without me, you can't exist. So you're welcome. Let's celebrate.
And you put on a lot of shows, and you had a lot of variety of artists at your shows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been to a lot of those shows, and you cannot help it. It's inevitable that there's going to be some fucking whack-ass performances. And I'm an asshole, I'm just going to say.
You are an asshole.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not lying. There's some whack-ass performances. When you see this, how do you take that in?
The whack performances?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I've seen you perform.
Sorry, we talk shit now.
Yes. Because here's why. Let me set the stage, okay? Because you are a live performer in the live sense. You beatbox, you sing, you rap, you play, you do all that shit. You do all that shit. So when you see a whack performance, how do you take that?
Okay. My yin and yang pops out, right?
Yes. You allow yourself? You allow yourself that?
Yeah. So like in my head, I'm just like, what in the world is going on in here?
Good. I need to hear that.
So I'll take the dirty socks out. But okay. The one where I let myself, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna justify me being all mean about this right now is when I see someone and they're being mean, or they're a little too full of themselves. I'm like, I don't even do the favor of sometimes. I mean, this is probably whatever, but I don't do the favor of telling them. I'm just like, I don't know time.
What if someone's dropping N-bombs in their performance?
And they're not black. And they're not black.
And they're not black.
Yeah.
Even if they are, like, fuck that shit. Even if they are black, because there's no right. There's no.
For me, honestly,
I understand entertainment purposes, but if you're not a stab, it's so fucking weird. But what do you think?
Personally, I don't like the N-word being thrown into anything. I don't like.
Yeah.
Because it holds an energy I'm just not associating with that.
Too much power, that word, right?
Fucking
Too much power.
Yeah.
But what does it matter if it's a black artist or non-black artist?
For me, I feel like it's objectively, like if you want to go numbers wise, objectively worse if it's a non-black artist because more people will be offended.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned about what offense does this act do, and what is it doing on your health? Who's getting offended?
Yeah.
Right. Because I want to knock people out when I hear them say it and they're not black.
Too much.
I want to fucking hit somebody.
Yeah.
Because my background in education with the word is that every time a white person gets angry enough, they call me the N-word. Motherfucker, I'm Indian. Then we have other words. They have other words for Indians. But it's like the default angry white person response is to go right there. I'm gonna fucking make sure I say this. It's like they have to get it out.
Yeah.
So when I see artists, and I hate to say it, man, there's a lot of Indian artists, that represent the hip hop culture.
That will have to change.
And I fucking hate it.
Yeah, that will change the way.
And I can't fuck with those artists. You won't see those artists coming on the High Face podcast. Will never happen. It fucking makes me mad. But the way I see it, when black artists use the word, it only sounds normal when a black artist uses the word. It's their fucking word. Because we've talked about this before on the show, the commodification of people is based on the use of that word. Like it was the fucking barcode on people. Yeah. And that's how they were sold, right?
But it's weird though. What if a Chinese guy's going, yo, my chink, yo?
Then do it. Do
you know what I mean though? Like, and if everybody were calling themselves their own derogatory,
then it's fine. I don't give a fuck. That's it's not offensive.
Yo, for me, I'm just saying everybody's an individual. Me as myself, whether skin color or not skin color, polka dotted, like I am my own race. I am the Sam race. Yeah. You know, this is how I see it. So anytime I meet anybody new, like it's a whole different mindset, and so I'm like a little bit out of touch with that.
That's fuck.
Like if someone's being all racist, I'm like, I understand your anger. I don't understand this concept you're talking about because you're your own race, and I guess in your world, this is what you understand. That doesn't exist in this world. So you keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
So do you feel, this is a random as fuck question, do you feel in the moment connected to this physical, or do you not feel that?
I am here.
He's here.
Physical, spirit, all of it.
Yeah. I feel pretty put together. There's a lot of things about patterns I always see, and it's just interesting. And
any religious beliefs?
My family is Christian.
Right.
Me myself, I just try to observe and just go with what I feel like I know, and understand that there's a lot that I just don't know, and be real about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting shit. And going into your favorite question.
Oh, whose? His or mine?
Your favorite question.
Oh, my favorite question.
Which is interesting because you kind of touched on this topic earlier when you said something about this life and what happens after. You kind of just said that and you just let it hang. And this is Mike's favorite question.
Yeah, go ahead and ask. I think you ask.
But you say it better.
One more question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to head out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's your time like right now?
It's 9, I think.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Well, this will be a perfect ending.
Yeah. Perfect segue.
Okay.
Brother, what happens? What happens when you die?
Everything.
Yeah, but what happens? Tell me. What do you think? What do you think happens?
I don't know. Final answer. I've never died.
That's the first. Everyone tries to come up with something.
It's the most logical answer. It might be the first time. That might be the first time.
Interesting.
So far.
And last question before you get your idea. You have, after whatever happens when you die, you go in the afterlife, you can take 3 artists' whole catalog with you. Only 3 artists, but you get the whole catalog. What 3 artists do you take?
So I'm taking 2 artists.
2?
Any artist I know?
Anybody.
Big, small, whatever.
And our entire
discography, yes.
Dead or alive.
Two artists.
All right.
You're only taking 2?
2 artists?
It's supposed to be 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take Tupac.
I'm a straight rider. You know when I fuck.
I'll take Kanye, early Kanye West to make beats.
You gotta take his old shit. Even the 6ix9ine.
Even this.
You're gonna have to skip past that every time.
And then
that's part of hell or heaven, whatever.
Then I'll take Sam Chimes.
Oh, love it! Love it!
That is
takes his shit
first.
Yes.
High praise first.
Have his whole catalog there, man. This is what I did on Earth.
That's like past, something middle, and present. You know.
That's dope.
So where can people find you if they want to see where you're at?
SamChimes.com. SamChimes.com. And Instagram is OneChimes. ONECHIMES. Follow me. I can't follow you. I'm sorry. Blame Instagram for restricting me. Hit them up. Shout outs. Write them a song. I don't know. Yeah. Awesome. Find me. I'm releasing stuff.
Nice.
Dope, bro.
And where can they find you, ACDJ?
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub.
Sadly, we don't.
No, you know we're doing weddings. We're getting podcasts. The High Phrase Network is in full effect, dude. We got 5 podcasts. We're gonna have 7 soon, right? We're gonna do a lot. We're gonna have a lot, man. We're gonna have a lot. Maybe if you think you got a great idea for a podcast, you want to come on, man, drop us a line, drop us
no whack shit, no whack shit,
man. If you pass the tribunal, then you know what I mean.
No tinfoil podcast.
You'll get a shot.
Yeah,
you'll get a shot. We got a couple studio setups, and we'll never know.
Easy. ACDJ.
Yeah, sir.
ALITE.
Yeah,
High Phrase Podcast. Peace, y'all.